Hello everyone, and welcome back to The Little Blue Fly. If this is your first time visiting, welcome, and I invite you to subscribe to my channel. It's as simple as tapping that subscribe button, making sure to select all after you have tapped the notification bell. So today it is a very cloudy, stormy type of day. So my lamps, they're looking just so inviting today. I love a cloudy day and turning on my lamps. It just makes a room even that much more inviting. I don't know if I'm the only one that feels that way, but that is one of the things about me. On cloudy days, I love turning on all my lamps in the house during the daytime. So what I'm going to be doing today is sharing a very enchanting, fairy tale-like decorating marathon here in the entryway. Many pieces are going to be moving, and I decided to use baskets on my staircase rail instead of a garland. So that being said, let's begin. Shall we? Now, I shared these two baskets here in a previous haul, and I just decided, I'm going to put them up on my mantle. Well, my staircase rail. Home sweet home. I purchased this some time back, and it actually was just like the galvanized color, and I went ahead and aged it. And over here to the side, I have a wood panel that was purchased off of Etsy. Actually, it was a Christmas present my husband purchased for me. 2 of them, actually. And then the wreath came from Bed Bath, and I added in some greenery, and I'm going to be sharing later on this process, just in case any of you have missed the previous video of me decorating this. And here is our Lord Baxter. He is very heavy and solid brass. And I'm going to be decorating his wreath. Now, the wreath was purchased, I believe, from Home Goods, and I'm going to make sure that I keep all of my berries or whatever I add inside this wreath going in one direction. And I just wanted to share just a brief how I wrap my berries inside the other greenery to make it flow well. So I've added in all of these darker berries, and they were purchased from Hobby Lobby. And now I'm going to go with a different variety. I do not remember where these were purchased from. I apologize. But they are going to bring light into the wreath. So I just place them all about. And as you can see, it really did lighten up the wreath. I'm going to add in a little nest. I purchased these from New River Pottery when I was living in North Carolina. And then I added a simple black sash to the side. And I added in the last touch that was needed, and that is moss. It's just a green Spanish moss that can be purchased from Hobby Lobby or Joann's. And I just love the way Lord Baxter looks inside this panel. Now to start decorating the baskets. I'm gonna start with this. It's a pick that I purchased from Hobby Lobby for $5.99. I always, I'm all stuttering, sorry. I always wait for them to go on sale 50% off. So then I can purchase two for the price of one. I'm going to also be using some green wire. I just wanted to change the handle a little bit, and I thought that this green stem would really do the trick. And then inside the leftover, this is going to help hold my other florals in place. Now these are fresh naturals. They are not faux flowers. And I'm going to share with you all again how enjoyable it is to mix fresh floral with faux floral. And here is some more fresh greenery. And if I can't get it from outside of, in my yard, then I'll go to grocery stores or florists and I'll just pick up stems. So I placed the 3 in the back, but now I'm also going to add naturals, but dried naturals. So I'm just going to take it to a different level. I'm not only going to go faux and real naturals, but I'm also going to go with the dried as well. And as you can see, I placed them in the back. It works well, because here's another natural floral. Because when we have our flower arrangements, well, they start to age and change in colors, and that's just the natural process. So I just wanted to share that in these baskets up on the railing. So again, I have naturals that are fresh and are dried, and then faux. And of course, these are faux berries. And again, I apologize, I do not remember where I purchased these from. But if you find them with this heavy gauged stem, these berries are everything, because they have clusters and you can really spread them out, and just wonderful, wonderful berries to work with. So I placed them to one side, and actually I wrapped them around some of the stems. And then this is faux, and it's my sedum. This was recently purchased from Merrifield Garden. Love the lavender and the greens together on this pick. And I just sort of placed it off to the side, but up front a little bit, just to give, a little bit of a focal point. Now I'm gonna finish things up by adding in the moss. Always add the moss. It's very messy, but it's so rewarding. So I have it coming off of the basket, cascading down, and I mix it in throughout all the florals for all the empty spots. Now, when we're out in our garden, okay, I'm gonna add in some more. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm gonna add in some more dried greenery. Placed it off to the sides. I like to stand back and really look over my arrangements and see, okay, where's it missing? So here's the branches. Now, when we go out to our gardens, on our trees and on our bushes, we always have these branches that are bare every year, and they just don't produce floral any longer. But it is part of floral arranging to add in some of, the stems, I think. Anyhow, but let me get off that. Let me start talking about this ribbon right here. I'm going to use this as ribbon. It's really, it's metal. It can be purchased from Hobby Lobby. And I decided I didn't want to go with the basic ribbon. I wanted to use metal. I have quite a few tutorials that show how to age this metal, because it's galvanized metal. So it is, the silver color, and I like everything in rich gold tones. Now I'm having to make this bow a little bit different because it's not as flexible as ribbon. I'm going to cut that little extra piece off. Okay, so here I have the start of my ribbon. You can use a little bit of hot glue to hold it together. I preferred to use the wire. And then I have this little piece just to fold, give the finishing touch. And I'm just going to fold it around to the back. And then with the wire, I'm going to place it on top of my basket up front. Okay, so there's the bow, and then down below, this is the hanging, I guess I'll say, sash, but this is how I created it today anyhow. I had a candle that I will no longer be using, a taper candle, and I'm just going to wrap this metal around the candle in order to give it a shape. It's a little bit stubborn at first, but then it cooperates nicely after a bit. And depending on how long you would like this ribbon to be, you just keep going around the candle. And I love this. I love using metal in place of ribbon. It just offers that different touch, and probably because I love everything that is gold and gilded and aged. So the candle just comes right out, and then you just pull it apart and you shape it however wide you want your curls to be. And then I attach them at the top of the basket. And here is the other one as well. Now we're going to work on over in this corner. We're going to start things up in the window. And this is a thrifted clock. I think if it wasn't eBay, I believe it was Facebook Marketplace, but I just recently thrifted it, and I'm placing it on top of a stand. Well, I placed it on top of a stand and used wire to hold it in place. And next I will be adding this beauty. Love this vintage frame. As you can see, it is quite thick. It is a large piece, highly detailed, the gold gilding just like I love it. I love to find the old frames and work with them throughout the home. And I just placed it over the clock. Now you'll see changes later on in the video with this piece. But I love how the clock comes out from the center of the frame. Now I'm going to add in some real ivy. with a blue and white ceramic fluted pot that I just recently purchased. So I planted 2 of them, and I just have some little saucers underneath for when I water, of course. I don't want it to be all messy, but I plan on buying forms and placing them in and make wreath topiaries. Next, I will be placing in this very large and heavy vintage ceramic bowl from Bombay. I picked this piece up for $40 when I was in North Carolina, right before we moved. Love the rich cobalt blues. I'm going to give my ivy a little bit of water. I love the variegated greens and the needlepoint leaves. And then up front in a clay pot, I placed in some hyacinths. And I've had this for many years. I normally place it inside bottles and then put a taper candle on top. But today we're going to put it in this sweet little planter and add a buttercream yellow taper candle. After all, it is all about the simple little things. And I have this little porcelain egg that was just recently thrifted, and I'm just going to place it right here. Now we will be moving over to the 2-tier tray. Up at top, I have this oval bird mirror. It was purchased some time back, and it actually is in my Amazon storefront. So if you click the down arrow in my description box on the right-hand side, it'll bring up my Amazon storefront. Many of you ask me that question, how do I get there? You tap that arrow on the right-hand side of the description box and it comes down and you'll see the link. This basket was just recently purchased from Merrifield Garden. I figured we would add in a touch of some wicker since we don't have any going on yet. I actually wanted to place it somewhere else in my home, so I think I'm going to have to actually go out and purchase another one. Now, this stem, it's a mossy, twiggy stem, and this one as well. They were purchased in California right before we made the trip on over here to the East Coast. Can never have enough of the moss look and feel inside the home. So I just weaved them together, placed them inside the basket, and now I'm going to add in these berries. They have a gorgeous natural look and feel to them. These were purchased along with the moss twigs in California before we moved. So they're all mingling nicely. I have them all weaved in with one another. And now I'm going to add in this sedum pick that was just recently purchased. I figured it would go really nice with the 2 baskets up on the railing. It would just sort of tie everything together. I placed it off to the side. And then I'm going to add in some dried naturals. There we go again with the naturals and the faux flowers. I just love the look. And now I will be adding in some moss. And I placed just a simple green sash off to the side. Now what's coming up next, I love doing this inside of frames. Just putting things that you love, images of items that you love inside of frames. All of these frames came from Hobby Lobby. And this right here is Lord Parsnippity. Now, all of these, the family I'm about to share with you, they are part of Lord Baxter's heritage. So again, that is Lord Parsnippity. And I would like to introduce you all to Lord Elderberry. Again, all of the frames were purchased from Hobby Lobby. Now, this one right here, this is... I'm having a hard time remembering his name right now. I apologize for that. But he is the butler. I do remember that much. If his name comes to me, I'll let you know. And this right here is Lady Radican Parsnip. She's wearing spring's latest fashion. And this is Mr. Downfeather. He is the gardener. I love all of the the green onions on top of his head. And I believe if I could ask you all, I would love ideas on a name for this bunny right here. I placed in, this came from Home Goods. It's just, what do you call a hurricane lamp? I liked, looked like pane windows with the gold. And I'm now going to start working down in this area on top of the buffet. This is a Mackenzie Childs charger plate. The ends have gold. And this is the courtly check pattern. Now I know they can be quite costly. I know many times we go to Shop HQ because we can make payments on things, and the majority of the time that really helps out because you don't have to put out, a big chunk of change. You can just make payments over time. And this piece right here, this is Miss Lily. And she came from Ross, and she was actually all white. And I did a tutorial back in 2019 in the spring, and I painted her. I was inspired by Mackenzie Childs, and I decided to get some acrylic paints and some aging wax and give it a try. And she has the sweetest smile. A recent thrifted porcelain egg, blue and white. Again, I will be adding more of the blue and whites into my decorating. And here is a couple more that will be placed in the basket. I love the white one with the little, it looks like a daisy on the front of it. It's just the sweetest. Now I'm going to add in, do I call it a garland? A nest garland, maybe? This was purchased sometime back in California. It's everything that's wonderful. Very branchy. It can be used in so many ways. But today I'm just going to tuck it behind the lamps and add in some berries and some ivy. And I need pots. I need to go out and purchase quite a few pots for my plants, because now I'm starting to incorporate back in the living plants into the home, not just all faux. I placed the berries underneath the large nest here on the corner. And I'm going to add this clock in. This was purchased from the at-home store. And you'll see later on in the video, here's a candle. It's orange blossom. Yes, I actually have 2 of them and they are delicious. But later on in the video, you're going to see that the clock has moved. So I get to moving things around as I decorate. And some sweet Mackenzie Childs frogs came to play. I love the little charm. And what it is, it's a napkin ring. I purchased 4 of them. Now we're going to come over here and we're going to start working on the wreath. Now this again is some of that metal ribbon that can be purchased from Hobby Lobby. But again, it's silver. And I use gold acrylic paint. I wait for it to dry. Then I go over it with a dark glaze. I have several videos of me doing this technique. And again, I didn't want to use regular ribbon, so I decided to go with the metal. It gives just that nice old world. It just works with the cottage and with the whole fairy tale. I'm in love with this metal ribbon. And you'll see the ribbon will move about throughout the video. Always take that stand back and take a look. And I was aiming for the old world look. Now this greenery came from Michael's, yes. And I have some cascading down off the right hand side and then some on the left underneath the ribbon. And then it's all about pluck and play. Put little pieces here and there throughout the wreath. This greenery also came from Michael's. Love the variegated colors. The lime green with the darker green. Brings good light into an arrangement. And I took that greenery and placed it underneath the other that was cascading down. And again, it's just, you just play with it. Put little pieces all about and make sure to weave it in with your other greenery to help it look more natural. And I'm going to add in touches of fern. because ferns are they're very wispy, very friendly. A fern is just friendly. So again, I tuck them in with all the other flowers. Just a nice variegated friendship we have going on here with all of our floral, actually greenery. And just a sweet little ribbon, little bow off to the side. Now this next piece actually came, I have a couple of them, came from Hobby Lobby. And they just remind me of that sweet little fairy tale cottage out in the middle of the woods. It came with moss already over it, all over it already. Now what we're going to do is we're going to build our own, we're going to plant our own garden. With a pair of tweezers and hot glue, I'm just taking clippings from dried floral, naturals that I have here at the house. And this is just all imagination. This is actually a hedge right here, well, a bush. And just get creative with the little things that you have on hand. This is, it's actually dried larkspur. I believe that's how you pronounce it. A few buds over here to the side. This is so therapeutic. And here we have our sweet little cottage garden filled with roses, larkspur buds and florals, and look, Stuart even came to visit. Now whenever he shows up, something special is about to happen. So I wonder what that might be. A sweet little cottage wreath. But look, something magical has happened. Let's go in and take a closer look. Do you see that golden egg? What? Stuart is telling us something. He's saying he knows where this golden egg has come from, and it's the other wreath. So how about we go take a look? What might it be? Oh, the wreath is a little bit messy up at top. I'm gonna have to fix that. Oh, there's more golden eggs. There's a golden egg in the window. I think I know who this might be. Look, there's golden eggs everywhere. Just what I thought. I knew it. It's Gilda. She is, let me tell you something about Gilda. Everything about her is just so kind and wonderful. And what she does, early Easter morning, Gilda drops her golden eggs at doorsteps and gardens to remind us all about the spirit of giving, to give your very best at all times without expecting anything in return.